VRChat is a difficult game to describe. It's always felt like that kind of game that all of your friends and people you follow have either played an unhealthy amount of or know barely anything about. Its premise is hard to put into words, yet easy to wrap your head around. It's a game that's approachable, yet intimidating. Inclusive, yet antisocial. Omnipresent, yet niche. How I would describe it personally is it's a virtual chat room fueled by a ton of user-generated content. This content can range from anywhere from avatars to change what you appear as to other players, to social events, to activities, to worlds. This last one is what I'm interested in today. Now, I have a bit of a weird story regarding this game. When I first heard about this game and saw footage for it, the first impression I ever got is that it was basically Second Life but for furries and hardcore anime fans. And as a result, it wasn't really for me. And well, that's not 100% inaccurate. I swear like 70% of this game's user base are either furries or like have anime avatars, but it's not like I even enjoy this game for the same reason most people would, as I'll explain in a minute. Regardless, some non-furry friends actually convinced me to give it a try. They toured me around a couple avatar worlds, and then we just kind of explored some random maps while talking amongst ourselves. It was an interesting experience. Oddly, the game kind of reminds me of when I played SketchUp as a kid. Now, SketchUp is not a video game, so that might sound weird. It's a 3D modeling tool used to plan out, like, interior design and industrial architecture. However, when I was a kid, we had school laptops that had this software on them, and one thing I would do all the time is go on their online 3D warehouse, which has a ton of its own user-submitted content, download design plans for buildings, parks, cities, mansions, and other things, and just walk around in them using the software's walk function. I was a weird kid. Am I the only one who did this? Something about this activity always felt very zen-like to me, and exploring VRChat Worlds kind of awakened that primal memory. That calming, almost dreamlike feeling of exploring an unfamiliar, silent world you know a lot of effort was put into. I had so much fun doing this that I actually went back to the game the night after we stopped playing to try it again, and if anything, doing it alone sort of heightened the experience, to a point at which it's now something I do on occasion as sort of a mediation activity. It's also kind of funny too. I mean, of course I'm the type of guy who plays VRChat as a single-player game, even if I do have a lot of fun playing it with friends too. And in fact, I actually don't like playing this game with strangers. I'm actually going to be turning off voices and doing my best to edit around viewable player usernames in this video, partially because of this. Also because I've always been the type to want to get permission from people before featuring them in my video essays, and that would be nearly impossible for a video like this where I'll regularly be joining public rooms with plenty of strangers. If I miss any, I'm sorry, and please don't bother anyone who makes an appearance in this video, although I will still keep people's avatars active though. You can set the character you appear as to others to whatever you want, and some people get really creative with this feature, and I just love the crazy skins you sometimes find in this game. But anyway, back to the worlds. What the purpose of this video is, well, imagine this almost like a dream diary in video form. I'm going to explore 30 VRChat worlds, just an arbitrary number that feels right to me, and document my experiences. Some of these worlds are ones I find on my own, while others might be suggestions by friends or fans. As for what I'll document, well, I'm thinking basically just anything of note. Whether this be interesting areas, surreal encounters, unique activities, we'll have to see as we go along. Well, let's get started. I wanted to start with something a little simple. A lounge. They seem like a pretty common type of world in this game, being designed just to be places you can hang out with people. I just mentioned how I'm not really the hang out with others type, but it feels like a good place to start regardless. I just typed lounge into the world finder and clicked on the first one that caught my interest to get to this one. And the world I landed on was Piano Lounge by Temporal. Well, let's dive in. Alright, so right off the bat oh god, what are you? Why do you have two heads? Why is your stomach opening? Is this thing from an indie game I've never played or something? Is this our host for tonight's party? And it looks like I joined alongside a red thing. Actually, I think I know what that is. I think it's a furry thing, and they're basically these robotic werewolves with screens for faces, and okay, I may not be a furry myself, but I actually do think they look kind of cool. We're not here to look at the avatars, though. Let's look around and... Oh, I can eat chips. And the bowl never runs out. There's a big screen here, and it looks like you can put an actual URL in. I want to test something real quick. Give me a minute. At this point, I'm looking up a URL for a very particular video. And... Oh god, it works. I did not expect that to actually work. Oh, no, 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 no. Quick, I gotta put something else on before they think I'm just here to self-promo my own stuff and kick me. Let's replace this with the best song from Celeste. Some wise guy is playing Megalovania on a piano. Hold on, you can, like, actually play a piano in this game? How do I do that? Ah! I'm just gonna assume you need a VR set in order to do this. For context, I'm actually playing this with a controller, my Steam controller to be exact. You don't actually need a VR headset or VR equipment to play this game. I mean, it certainly helps. I feel like you have a lot more features with it, but if your main goal is to just walk around and hang out with friends, it still works. I don't know. I found a tablet that you can pick up and... Oh my god, why do I look so sad? You know, I might as well talk about my own avatar real quick while we're here. I am Maractus. I don't, like, personally identify as Maractus or anything, or even think it's a good representation of myself. I just think it's a really funny avatar, on top of actually being my favorite grass type. Like, I love this little guy. I have two other avatars I swap between occasionally, one being Marluxia from the Kingdom Hearts series, because... My god, I love how weird he looks. Like, he never looks like he's in the right place. He always looks like he's from a completely different game. Like, he doesn't match any world I take him to, and it's just so funny to me. And the other avatar I commonly use is one I dub Baby Mode Howie Mandel. I don't know what this model is from, but it's so funny because I just look like a tiny goblin running around about to ask people which cases they would like to open. This is the guy who hosts Deal or No Deal, by the way, for those of you not in the know. I loved that show as a kid, but I can't imagine my audience is super into it. But yeah, those are the three characters you'll probably see me swap between this whole video. I found a fish tank with actual rendered individual fish, which looks kind of cool. I think I know what type of fish these are, actually. Although I'm too short to get a good look at it, so let me swap to Marluxia. Who is inhumanly tall. Funnily enough, this is actually the most common reason I swap to Marluxia when I do, because Maractus is a living pear cactus and is therefore short, and Howie looks like he belongs in a booster seat. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can feed them and get in the fish tank yourself if your character is small enough. Okay, I think that's everything I was able to find in this world. It really is just like a room to hang out in, though it is kind of dense, and like there's an impressive amount of stuff you can do in here. Let's look for another world now, though. Well, my goal for this video was to look for dreamlike experiences, so you know what I should look up next? Liminal spaces. If you don't know what these are, look them up. It's the kind of thing that's really hard to put into words, but you know what it is when you see it. Well, it seems like there's a few here, but one that catches my attention is Liminal Pool by Moon. Loading in, we're treated to... Okay, I think I should mention that Gygas's theme is actually playing right now, although I'm gonna mute it because I've heard that Nintendo is kinda anal when it comes to music regarding the series. While I am the type to fight tooth and nail when it comes to copyright claims, especially on my video essays where they are undeniably fair use, having to do so for like a 30th of a video isn't worth my time. I'll replace it with like, I don't know, something from Harvester or something. Oh my god, this is somehow more freaking appropriate. Well, the first thing I noticed is that my character is so short that he's underwater, so let's swap to, oh, Baby Mode Howie Mandel is actually tall enough for this. Well, exploring around, this map certainly nails that liminal feeling. These dark areas in particular are very surreal. It almost feels like something is going to spring out at me at any moment. Although the map isn't particularly large. I mean, it is bigger than the last one, but it's still pretty small, things considered, and there's not much of really anything that you can interact with. Although I did find this reflective bubble you can click on that does, oh, somebody's actually joining the map. Well, let's go ahead and say hi, I guess. We just gotta wait for their avatar to load so we know who we're dealing with, and, Oh, okay, I think that's enough for this area. Okay, I got a weird one. Hear me out here. Kmart. If you don't know what Kmart is, it's an American department store that, according to Wikipedia, is a $25 billion company with, 17 stores? What? I thought it was a big chain thing. There's got to be some context I'm missing here. We're not diving into the history of Kmart in this video. But anyway, I was playing the game with a friend one day, and apparently it's possible to drop a portal to a world while in a different world. It's kind of cool. They look a bit like Spyro portals even. And while playing with this guy, I accidentally walked into one of these portals and found myself in a Kmart. Yes, really. Some mad lad modeled out an entire Kmart store for you to walk around in. The funniest thing, too, is that people here were, like, role-playing as employees as well, trying to pitch items to other players of the game. It was so random. This map also led to probably the funniest moment I've ever encountered in this game. At this point, I was still new enough to the game that I was commonly fumbling around with the controls, and as a result, I accidentally found myself taking an item from another player without realizing it. A few seconds later, I realized what I did, so I tried to drop it so he didn't think I was stealing his stuff, but the damage was already done. The guy began staring me down, and through his microphone, I heard a very groggily, tired, like, 40-year-old man utter, "Dude, fuck that cactus." And, like, I couldn't stop laughing at that point for, like, a good 5 minutes. He couldn't hear me, but I just stood in place as I couldn't get over that delivery. Now, again, I'm playing with player audio off, so we're not going to have any moments like that in this video, and I'm not even sure if this is the same Kmart map I went to that time, because there are multiple for some reason, but screw it, let's dive into Kmart Express by Ericino and see if we can find anything else strange. Oh, this actually is the same Kmart map, and okay, I really hope this song doesn't get content ID'd. Oh, this is chaotic already. Well, I should probably start by grabbing a card, I guess. Right. That is definitely how you hold a shopping cart. I wonder if they'll let me just check this thing out. Here, take this. They're scanning it and taking it somewhere. Hey, can I come too? I want to see... Did they just kick me out? It seems that there are quote-unquote employee-only areas on this map that if you cross into, you get booted back out to the front of the store. So I guess we can't explore the whole thing, but let's look around anyway and see what else we can find. Oh no, Mr. Dragon Ball is casting a trap card. I found a guy with wiggly fingers in a box right in front of him. You know, last time I was here I accidentally took someone out of something's hands, so let's return the favor. Did he just pet me? I found the cereal aisle. I'm gonna take some kicks. And this basketball. And then I'm gonna put them on the wrong shelf. Ah, sweet, I want some Heineken. Dude, treat yourself to something better than Little Caesars, oh my god. I found a working photo booth. There's a bunch of people running in here right now. Let's see if we can get a picture. Oh cool, it's Rick Astley with a gun. Wait, Rick Astley, what are you doing? This isn't a gag, the screen actually went black when he took a shot. What is going on? Oh, I got an idea for a keyword we can look up. Vaporwave. I don't know much about Vaporwave, admittedly. To me, it does feel a little like a meme genre of music, but I'd be lying if I said there wasn't something visually and oddly catchy about the style. It seems like there are quite a lot of maps with the subject, but the one that eventually stuck out to me and I went with was Vaporwave Lounge by Will Games 11. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I like the look of this one. Like, how do you even describe the aesthetic of Vaporwave into words? Because, like, from an outsider perspective, it just kind of looks like a mess of pixels, pinks, blues, statues, dolphins, and miscellaneous 90s paraphernalia, right? I cannot tell you why this triggers some reaction in my brain that makes me go, this looks cool. It just does. Particularly I like these Fiji water bottles with the flashing colors on the labels. These probably aren't safe to drink, but I want to drink them anyway. God, this map looks cool. Okay, I got something else we can search. Kingdom Hearts. Because it's not a Game Dog video unless I mention Kingdom Hearts at some point. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little disappointed. It's a lot to choose from, but I sort of expected there to be more given how huge of a series this is. It seems like most of these maps are just maps ripped from the various games as well and just ported straight into VRChat. If I gotta check one out though, let's take a look at Quadratum by Takato Masuki. Now, for those of you who aren't Kingdom Hearts trash like myself, this area is the battle arena for Yozora, the ultimate super boss of Kingdom Hearts 3 that you need to beat like 13 pre-second super bosses to unlock the opportunity to fight. I actually made a video all about these last year if you want to check that out, but this area you fight him in, we actually don't get to see that much of because you're locked on top of this building the entire time you're in it. Oh yeah, and you're also fighting the hardest fight in Kingdom Hearts history, so that's also a factor. Like, there's not really a lot of room to just look around, you know? It feels like the kind of place we're going to return to and be super important in future games. Well, as predicted, you do start on top of the building you fight Yozora in, and, oh, you can jump off of it. I also noticed this box in the top left that appears to be camera controls, and, oh! Okay, you know what pet peeve I have with this game? I wish you could do this by default. I get that the idea of the game is that you're supposed to play it in VR, so a locked third-person camera wouldn't make sense, but my god, I'm just more used to third-person games, and it would make setting up cool screenshots a lot more fun. Make it a button toggle, like in Minecraft, I don't know. And if there is a way to do this already, can you please not, like, hide it as much at the very least? Now that I think about it, this might be the reason why worlds are littered with mirrors, because it's the only way you can see your own model half the time, but, like, seriously, just give our players more camera options, please. Well, if this map's going to let me do this, I might as well try to set up some fun moments.
Sorry, but I don't lose.
Oh, now that's an epic gamer shot right there. You ever seen the show Boundary Break? It's this guy on YouTube who hacks the camera to various games and just kind of fidgets around with it to find out-of-bounds secrets and art assets you may have never seen up close before. It's pretty cool. Well, one of my personal things he does on the channel is when he takes the camera way into the background of scenery to just look how much of it is modeled, and dang, I feel like I was in the middle of one of those segments exploring this area. See that sign right there with text that you can clearly read when you get close enough? That's where it's located in comparison to the original platform. I never knew this much was modeled and detailed out here, and eventually the floor did give way and I just kind of fell, but wow, this city was cool to run around in. Now, knowing this series, watch some of these details be lore important later. God, just make an ARG, Nomura. We know you probably want to at this point. You know, speaking of games I can't stop mentioning in my video essays, what about Y2K? Nothing. No Y2K related maps. That's disappointing. God, not even like an Avatar world? Like, you telling me no one wants to play as Alex Yick in VRChat? Okay, what if I look up just Y2K instead? Oh, here's a few things. I want to check out Moon Station by Mob. Like, that's just a visually striking thumbnail. So this is unique. We don't actually start in the map itself, but instead a rocket ship we have to fly to the map. Among Us! I really like the aesthetic of this already. It's kind of got that chunky, primitive PlayStation 1 era style of flat surfaces pretending to be 3D objects, chunky, bit crush CD quality music, character design with more points than smooth edges. It certainly is a style the internet certainly loves to replicate. It's one I'm very nostalgic for myself. Hi, my world not finished, shut the fuck up, and don't welcome, my name is Mob, also fuck Adoy, I can't find I am so deprived my quitting. Entering the house, we're greeted by friends. It's a very cozy map. That's the best I could probably describe it. Random gaming stuff and low-poly friends are scattered all over the shelves with little rhyme to how weird they might look together. The wallpaper is insane. The food is... what is that? I found this coffee in the fridge that you drink and shrink down to Mouseland! Drinking Red Bull reverses the effect, and I am suddenly very concerned for my over-caffeinated cactus. You know, I also get a weird threatening aura from this map as well, if that makes sense. There's a room that's blocked off with really scary blockades in front of it. There's a spooky toilet. There's, like, profanity in the most random places. There's also an unfinished upstairs room that I know will probably be fleshed out later, but the emptiness just feels haunting in a way. This map elicits such a strange range of emotions from me, and Overall, I just really like it. Okay, so I mentioned at the start of this video that I got some map suggestions from friends who have way more hours in this game than I do, and therefore way more knowledge and cool worlds to explore. Well, let's go ahead and check a few of those out. How I'm going to do these is just check them out in batches in between the normal worlds I find, and we're going to start with 3 suggestions by Hoodie Deer. The first map I was given was Spirits of the Sea by Maki. Loading in, this appears to be another lounge-type map. This one with a very calming aesthetic. Like, you know that feeling when you're at home and you can hear the faint sound of raindrops outside? It's meant to give off that kind of feeling. I was immediately drawn to this giant board of a ton of options that can change the room itself. Change the lighting, adjust what's outside the big window, make the rugs look terrible. I really hope these changes only work on my end though, because at one point I made it so dark I couldn't see anything. And at another point I plunged us into hell. There's like 4 floors to this building, all pretty dense with detail, with beds and places to hang out everywhere. I felt almost like a cat trying to climb into high places, just waiting to be chilled out in. Eventually I began noticing all these crabs litter around the map that you can pick up and carry around. And then I found a basement area where it seems like you can deposit these crabs into these boxes to unlock stuff. I worded it like that because I couldn't actually figure out how to put the crabs in them. Apparently you get a golden crab at 15, a crab avatar at 10, and a double jump at 5, which I'm assuming you would use to find more crabs. I did some googling into this map, and apparently this lounge is actually a bit of a front for a bunch of puzzles. There's a bunch of these golden items and codes hidden around the map apparently that you can use to unlock secret rooms, and okay, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have the patience to do any of this, but the idea of a map developers hiding little secrets like that in is pretty cool. The second map Deer sent me was Koiwa's Particle Hell by Tiwa. Okay, before we even start this one, serious epilepsy warning for this next part of the video. Like, I was warned about how flashy this map was ahead of time, and I was still blown away by how visually stimulating it is. Like, I actually had to get up and walk away from my computer for a minute at one point, it got so bad. Thankfully, OBS had a rough time recording this, but I'm still going to be slowing down some footage immensely regardless. And if by chance you're, like, playing along with this video and checking out these maps as I do, be very cautious with this one, or even skip it altogether. If all of this just sounds too insane, skip to this part of the video if you want to. Spawning in, we're introduced to this really cool-looking landscape. It's got stardust floors and wireframe mountains all overlooking bars that go up and down with the music. A lot of effects in this map are actually synced to the music that's playing within it, which might not be 100% clear because I'm, slowing down the footage so it might appear distinct, but I gotta tell you, it's a cool effect. After a bit of walking around, the music changed, and I noticed this ramp made of light appear near the starting area, surrounded by pulsating crystals. So I warped back, took my ascent. God, this is so mesmerizing of an effect. And at the top was this giant laser cannon. I was able to pick it up and try to aim it around before... Oh my god. So this was the epilepsy warning I was talking about. There's a little too much going on, and I was really trying to divert my eyes IRL. I think the effects are coming from the cannon. More music started a minute after that, and then this ominous neon triangle came into view. It kept getting closer and closer, or maybe larger, maybe both. Eventually you're just enveloped by the thing, and everything goes black, and then you see an aspiration of Orgulon. Oh, Jesus! Okay, this map isn't for me, I take it. I actually had to leave the map and go back to my much tamer home just to look up the next suggestion, because even behind the UI, it was really starting to bother me. This map is pretty cool at the end of the day. Syncing the music to the effects must not have been easy, but Jesus Christ, I feel like this place could kill a man. The final world Deer sent me was The Playground Megastructure by Momo. Oh god, I'm in hell. Also, this map is playing Nintendo music again, so I will replace it with something else. So, do you guys remember those McDonald's play places or Chuck E. Cheese jungle gyms you may or may not have gone on as a kid? It's basically one of those, but like the size of a Mario Odyssey level. It's got jumping challenges, small mazes, obstacles, distinct zones, vertical shafts to climb and traverse. It's very expansive. Like, it's just immense and very impressive how much is here. This is one of those platforming worlds where if you see something off in the distance and think to yourself, man, I want to go there, more often than not, you can actually go there. There's a lot of unique set pieces and distractions, too. A few times around the map, I also found these giant Cheez-Its, which makes me think you might get something if you collect them all. I only found like 3, though. This map is a fun time. I can't say that VRChat's physics necessarily make it suited as a fun platformer game, but this map really tries to make the most out of the concept, and it does a pretty cool job. This is a cool place to explore. And thanks again to Hoodie Deer, these were very interesting to check out. The next world I took a look at was one I found on my own, although it wasn't through me searching any particular term. Instead, I just kind of opened the world menu and kept scrolling until something caught my attention, and that ended up being Putt Putt Pond by Otstinho. Don't ask me why that caught my attention. I'm a weird nerd when it comes to golf.
Leg has entered the lobby. Feet picks now.
I don't even have legs. I'm already confused. Okay, so that weirdness aside, we find ourselves in a little lobby area where you can set the rules for your golf game, select your club size, of course I have to pick the smallest one, and ball color, set the atmosphere. Yes, I will play Kingdom Hearts music, thank you very much. There's even a concession stand, which is kind of funny. Okay, I feel like this map isn't made with controller in mind. When I spawn a ball onto the course, I can adjust the angle of my shot by placing down and picking up the club wherever. However, I can't seem to adjust my shot power for some reason. I appear to be permanently stuck at half power. This essentially makes completing a lot of the courses impossible, so I guess I'm just gonna play for fun instead of for score. This map is really large for what it is. There's actually 2 distinct putt-putt courses here, and pretty much what I did during my time was go through them and just do the courses that had set pieces that got my attention and that I could actually complete. Because, I'm going to be honest, when it comes to putt-putt, you don't do it for the score. You do it for the set pieces, you know? The windmills, the ramps, the tubes. God, you have so much fun with these things as a kid, you practically don't care how terrible you're actually doing score-wise. To be perfectly honest, I'm also pretty surprised how well the hit detection for everything on this map is working as well. Not to knock VRChat or anything, but it's not exactly a physics simulation game, you know? Most objects you can ever interact with in this game always seems to weigh the same and are prone to clipping into stuff. These golf balls and course obstacles, on the other hand, they all work pretty flawlessly and like interact with each other exactly how you'd expect, and it makes it very fun to just watch these contraptions do their things. I would actually really like to someday return to this map with friends and have a proper match. This is a very nice map. Okay, I want to look up another keyword kind of synonymous with my channel again. RPG Maker. Okay, there's one. It's something called N-Roll by Cullen33. Huh. Well, let's try it out, I guess. Oh, this looks neat, and yeah, that is certainly an RPG Maker title screen. Let's start a new game. Oh.
Good morning, deranged maniac.
Wait. Okay, so I start the game in the cell, and this nurse on the TV is telling me to inject myself with something called Happy Dream. To do so once per day, and that I'll have happy dreams as a result. Well, let's take this and inject it into the air. Everything goes black, and I wake up in the same room early morning. I hear birds and stuff outside, but it doesn't seem like I can leave. Oh, now I really want to leave. I don't know what this thing is, and it doesn't seem like I can interact with it at all. In fact, I can't find anything else I can interact with, period. I think I'm stuck here unless there's something I'm missing. Eventually, I tried reloading my spawn point, which I think soft-locked the map because the nurse just kept staring at me at that point, and there was nothing I could really do about it. I got really curious about this one, so I looked up what End Roll is, and it is certainly an RPG Maker game. I can see why it came up when I searched that. And surprisingly, it's one I've never even heard of before. But then again, it was made with RPG Maker 2000, which is a bit before my time of covering them, let's just say. I feel like most stuff I play on the channel are either made with VXAce, MV, or MZ. The only 2000 game I think I've ever played off the top of my head is one called Hellgates 2 Validus Herb, I think that's how it was said, which was actually a pretty cool game. That dev really knew how to use that version to its fullest. As for Endroll here, I don't know, I might have to check this one out later. Maybe not as a Let's Play, but I'm definitely curious now. I found a playthrough of it online, and even the exact part of the game that what I just played was, I'm guessing, a fan recreation of. I never thought of using VRChat in that manner before, using it to recreate moments from other games so people can live them out in VR. Don't ask me why, but I was in the mood to play a little Smash Brothers after that. I really like Smash Brothers, so I looked up that series and immediately noticed the same issue I got when I looked up Kingdom Hearts. Most of the maps are just ripped from that series and then imported into the game. I mean, those types of map have their place, but they're not really what I'm looking for here. Quadratum was cool, but I want to look into something more original now. This thumbnail looks kind of interesting, though. I don't know why it comes up when you search Smash Brothers, but it's called Christmas Sky Mirror HD Championship Edition by Manikou. Huh, there's a bunch of stuff here to take in. The aesthetic I get from this map is I see like a bunch of Kid Icarus stuff along with Nights into Dreams music. I think that's what this song is. I don't know either of these series that well, to be honest. But it's also got a Christmas theme to it as well, and hey, if there's one thing I know well, it's out-of-season Christmas stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little underwhelmed by this map overall. There's a good variety of stuff to do, but most of it is pretty spread out or a bit tricky to access. Also, there's this huge temple area that I really don't know if you can do anything at all. I really wish you could access these islands off in the distance somehow too. I found this statue that if you interact with it, an anime man yells and the music changes. You can spam it too. This map is neat, though it might just not be for me. The next few maps I want to take a look at are another series of friend recommendations. This time we have a few maps by Kier Cryos. And this section was actually a bit unique because not only did he have some map suggestions in mind, but he also wanted to join me for the session I explored them itself. So here he is. I was not ready to experience his custom commissioned model. Oh my god! What is I didn't realize you, like, commissioned a model for yourself. You're way more buff than I imagined. I already look very small next to every model.
Yeah, here we go. Let's try that one. What's up?
Dude, like, your avatar banner is, like, actually looks like something, but mine is just Maractus T-posing. Seriously, how do you commission a model for this game? So the first world I wanted to talk about that we visited together was CN's Ball Pit in Lo-Fi by CN Lower. It's another hangout spot style map, this one taking place on an island. Although the real gimmick of this one is that, if you can't tell by the name, is that it has a massive ball pit in the center of it. And it's more than, like, just a ball pit too. You can run through it, of course, but you can also mess with their gravity, change their colors, and make them flash like Christmas lights, blow them around with these fans, and take these mushrooms, yes really, to create trippy effects to look at. Oh, hell?
Now check this one out.
I'm assuming I can't see you anymore, it's just balls.
Don't worry about it. Working with it. There you go.
So OBS is having a hell of a time recording this well.
Right?
And all this is just the stuff you can do with the ball pit. There's more here too. The whole island is just a big playground for you to explore in. You got giant crystals that turn things, view them into wireframe. These blowers I mentioned a second ago, you can actually use them yourself to essentially fly.
Holy shit, you really did go up. Hi.
Hi. Bye. Oh no. Your character flails their arms when you fall a great distance. I also found this thing. I also found this golden alpaca looking creature that you can hold onto the back of to...
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, I see.
You try it. I want to see like what this looks like from the other angle.
Oh, gee.
I also found these pens as well, and I tried to, I'm gonna draw Amanda.
Amanda from Hey Arnold?
No, Amanda, like my reindeer character.
Oh.
See how that looks? Oh my god.
I could probably see it.
Amanda, please stop. This is a really cool map. Some of the tech behind how the balls and effect work sounds very complex because the dev actually put a big board up in the area explaining how a lot of it works. It's very impressive overall. The next map he sent me to was Kitchen Cooks by Jar. As a connoisseur of cooking games, I was exceptionally excited for this one.
So there's one where you could play like a little kitchen simulator where you cook food and all that.
Cooking mini games?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I need to see this one.
Do you see this one?
Dude, I'm the cook serve delicious guy. Like, we can't. It's... Oh my god.
There you go.
Alright, so how does this work? Oh, yeah, okay, there's like a score here.
Mm-hmm. So we can start this off easy.
Okay.
Making burgers. So now we can make a hamburger.
Okay. Want maple syrup on that? I feel like the hardest part of this is going to be finding what we need to cook. What the hell organized this kitchen? Oh my god, this is so...
You know that we're on the clock.
I'm trying to find the burger buns.
The buns are here.
Where?
The buns are here. Turn around.
Oh!
The patties?
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, okay. Quick. Oh no. 5-second roll. Dude, what? This is an enormous patty! You have to flip it like in Papa Louie.
No, you just let it wait.
My realism. If I combine them. Just stepped on my burger. It's... Ah, it worked! Did I do it right?
You gotta put it on a plate, too.
Oh, wait. Honestly, Marluxia never struck me as a good cook, so it's like, this is actually, like, kind of fun.
Right.
I love cooking minigames and stuff. Oh, that... I hope you don't mind a little seasoning. I can't drop the knife! Hey, you know what? You know how at Dairy Queen they, like, hold the eraser upside down before giving it to you? We're gonna do that here with
Right.
onion rings. I can't break the egg.
No eggy.
I can't break the egg!
Here, wanna try it? Oh, there you go.
That works. I'm
No,
half Italian. Let's do
decadent.
spaghetti and meatballs.
Authentic.
That's not authentic. It's like saying using confectionery sugar when you should be using regular sugar is authentic. Like, it's not. Why? It looks like you're juggling them. What's going on?
I legit was wondering. It's like, what, do you just pasta or like?
Do you pasta it? What is the process we're supposed to do here?
I legit don't know. There you go.
It
Now you
turns
got a-
into a ladle.
Yeah,
No,
and with
give me
the
that.
basil, and with the basil, the parmesan. Let's go. Yeah, there. Jeez. Jesus Christ.
I'd say the closest actual cooking game this map resembles is Cooking Simulator. You basically need to run around this kitchen picking up ingredients and bringing them to the proper stations where they will cook, and you'll then have to do additional steps to prepare them and then serve them. A couple criticisms right off the bat I encountered with this one is, well, I wish the cook times for items were a little slower. A skill these types of games often really try to push onto you to learn is multitasking. While you're waiting for one thing to cook or cool or be processed or whatever, why not work on something else? The challenge of learning to be more efficient with your time is a very common draw of cooking games, and a lot of the items just cook a little too quickly for you to ever do that sort of thing here. I also find it weird that dropping ingredients on the floor doesn't have any negative effect at all. I sort of imagine it would at least like make them disappear or something. I say this like this is a serious game in any way. It's deliberately very stripped down of a lot of the super in-depth mechanic restaurant sim fans are into, although in a way that kind of adds to the charm of it. I mean, we are a Catman and Marluxia cooking burgers over here. I doubt you're meant to take this seriously as I am in the first place. This is a very fun map. I would actually love to come back here at some point with more friends and see how high of a score we can get together or something. Another really interesting world he sent me to was the back rooms. What is this?
Oh god, this is really.
Oh, are
tricky
you
for
clipping
VR.
through reality? Right, this is how you get into the back rooms.
Essentially.
I can't see you anymore. Oh, there you
Oh
are.
my-
I see your name tag.
Yeah, I see your name tag too.
Oh, this is weird. The back rooms are a meme, internet legend, horror story, creepypasta? How exactly do you define something like this? As far as I know, it started as a 4chan post describing an endless maze of old empty offices that will slowly drive you insane, and somehow spiraled into having its own fan-made extended universe. Like, I can't emphasize how huge the backroom rabbit hole goes. It's got an enormous wiki, there are iceberg videos about it, fan games, a viral short film. It's kind of insane, and apparently someone made a VRChat map for it too. This is a surreal map to explore. Kiera was pretty confident that the layout of this world wasn't randomly generated, but my god, it sure felt like it was. It was just endless and endless, yet oddly it never got boring to explore. It felt like we were always traveling new ground, and we would keep finding new set pieces and even items that we can take with us. I ended up carrying this radio along for a majority of our adventure, which he would use to find me if we ever got separated. Is there an exit or a way out of this? Is it possible to go deeper? According to the Backrooms wiki, there are... oh, Jesus Christ. 9,223,372,854,775,807 floors to the backroom, so I'm assuming there aren't that many in here. But god, there's such a culture behind this thing, who knows? You know, these weren't the only maps Kiera and I explored together, but these were the most notable ones that I want to cover in this video. Like, we spent a couple hours just running around different places. It was a lot of fun. He found a tower defense one where you could build stuff and then watch it take down tiny cars. I like tower defenses, but it seemed pretty rudimentary and would obviously need a couple hours of our own to completely fully understand. We found an abandoned city, a map that reminds me a lot of the Particle Hell map, but way less seizure-inducing. He also showed me a Russian roulette room where your model can do this.
Oh. Okay, there you go. Oh my god.
What happened to... where are you? Oh god, one that I actually really want to talk about was this nightclub that he found, because it's surprisingly large. There's a lot of these games to play here, but I kid you not, like, most of the footage was just us sitting down and talking, and I just couldn't make much of it. There were a couple funny moments, though. Like, at one point he got distracted by his IRL cat wearing head pats, and his model did this. Are you petting your actual real-life cat? Yes. And also...
there's, like, some more private rooms here.
What the hell do you need a private room for?
I don't know, if you want to just chat with people more.
Okay, I see the bed and I instantly know what's going on here. I'm a ladies' man. And also, you know how I just mentioned this map has games? Well, they're actually drinking games, and they want you to, like, take a shot in real life when the game tells you to. And as a result of this combined with the more, let's just say adult-oriented set pieces of the map, they want you to confirm that you're of age before entering. And while I am over 21 myself, Marluxia is too short to hit the confirm button. I can't reach it!
Oh no.
Hold on, I gotta swap to Marluxia.
You gotta be Marluxia to enter.
You have to be Marluxia or higher to enter. Which I took very personally. But yeah, I had a fun time here, so thanks Kiera for helping me out with this video. Okay, so I have to tell a little bit of a story before we move on to the next map. Behind the scenes working on this video, I sometimes did some random searching of VRChat content on YouTube and mostly on Twitter to get inspiration for this video. And during one of these sessions, I stumbled upon a single screenshot with an avatar I like so much that I went on an hour-long rabbit hole trying to find it. That avatar was this. Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is? That's right, it's Michael from the Cubenet Gardens universe. Someone made a Bomberman Louie avatar. You know, those rabbit kangaroo things that are basically that series' equivalent to the Yoshis? I'm a bit of an old school Bomberman fan, so I was kind of blown away when I saw this. Not only was this a cool, obscure character to find an avatar character from, but unlike the avatars I typically use, which are basically just models ripped from various games, I'm pretty certain this is a completely original model, because basically any time Louie was in 3D, his model looked like this. The closest he's ever looked like this in 3D is probably in the intro to Bomberman Party Edition, but that was a pre-rendered cutscene. You can't necessarily rip a model from that. That this avatar has all these funny little additions I wouldn't really expect from a model that was just ripped from a pre-existing source. Like, you can deck him out in the same costumes the Louis had in Super Bomberman 5, you can change his color, you can take out a bomb, although I can't figure out how to throw it. Okay, that's a really funny animation. He's got all these expressions, and you can make him fat and inflate him? How much you want to bet the person who created this is into fetish art? I don't know, man. I just like how much attention to detail there is here. Although I will say one missed opportunity that genuinely disappointed me was I really wished the dance animation was replaced with the pink Louis dance from Mega Bomberman, because I've always loved that animation despite it being functionally useless. Finding this was a real treat, and I'm probably going to be adding this to my main list of models that I occasionally use. Like, I don't know, man, I just really like how much attention to detail there is here on this thing, and on such an obscure character, too. Because, like, seriously, when was the last time these things ever appeared and were actually significant in a game? But anyway, all of this because I got extremely distracted while trying to find a Bomberman map. When I searched for Bomberman, 2 maps managed to come up, although the first one I went to requires more than 1 players to play, and the second one I went to requires more than 1 players to play. God damn it. Well, what am I supposed to do with my new Louis avatar now? I guess I could look up, like, I don't know, Hudson or something? Juice Army? What? Oh, this is a big field of nothing. Juice is juice, join the squad, explore to find juices, there are plenty to find. I feel like I'm about to be indoctrinated. We're surrounded by these big hills, but something about VRChat's physics allows me to jump straight up them. Getting over on the other side, we're greeted by nothing. Oh wait, there actually is something way off in the distance here. It looks almost like a particle error. I can't make heads or tails of what this is supposed to be. Before I leave, though, I wanted to check out this one last thing I saw in my peripheral vision. It looks a bit like one of those, like, panels that changes, like, the avatar you're playing as. And when I got close enough to actually see what it was, it turns out that's exactly what it is. But instead of a picture of the character, like these things normally have on them, it is an error sign. Well, let's click it and see what kind of avatar this gives me. I don't know what this gave me. There was a mirror back at the starting area, so if we're going to see what this actually is, let's go ahead and warp back. I became the juice. The transformation is complete. Have I joined the squad? I have no words. I am very confused. I feel like I just sold my soul to the devil by using Louis as a sacrifice or something. Man, I can't believe Louis died. A couple times when I've been doing research for this video, I found clips of people showing impressive physics simulations. I don't get the tech behind this sort of thing, but it looks extremely cool. This led me to searching liquid physics just to see what comes up. And what does come up, predictably, are a ton of maps where you can play around with various tech demo worlds. I don't know why, but the one called Destructible Object catches my attention. Let's try it out. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's take an axe. That's how you hold an axe. And yeah. They got vases, they got boxes, a mirror, and a couple shelves of glass bottles that you can destroy. And while this is basically all the map is, it's kind of fun. There's something oddly satisfying about being able to smash something you're not normally supposed to break, you know? It's like you're getting out this forbidden urge, but in a healthy, guilt-free sort of way. I never talk about my real-life work on YouTube, but one thing I get to do at my job is operate an industrial-sized trash compactor. And one thing I always look forward to doing is taking this big box of damaged goods they get at the end of the day and just yeeting the whole thing right in there. The shattering, the satisfying slam as it hits the back of the machine. It's a good way to let out your pent-up anger from pissy customers all day. Also, you gotta love the visual image of Maractus holding an axe. Oh god, he's at it again. Let's stick to that water trend and look up Fancy Pool now. There's actually quite a lot of maps here, but the one I decided to land on was Skyscraper Night Pool by Fox of. Oh, this looks extremely cool. I love the music, too. I really gotta find what this music is now. It's just this intro apartment area has a bunch of beds and chairs you can sit down in, but the real draw of this map is out on the roof of this apartment, the poolside. There's no, like, actual water physics or swimming controls to this pool. You just kind of fall through, and an effect is put over your screen to simulate being underwater. But being there in the moment, the charm is certainly there. This is one of those rich people pool areas as well. It's got these fancy lights you can throw in, a really cool view, a fire pit, a tent with snacks in it. There's also this bar that you can swim right up to. I gotta say, I'm not much of a drinker personally. I just don't like the taste of, like, 99% of all alcoholic beverages. But I've always wanted to order some from one of these just for the experience of it, you know? These floating inflatable pool toys are pretty fun too. You can drag them into the water and sit in them, and they work better than I thought they were going to. Also, I gotta take back what I just said earlier. While there are no, like, super advanced water physics here, it seems like there's some effect in place to emulate water tension, which actually adds to the realism quite a bit. I gotta take some friends here sometime. This is an extremely cool hangout spot. So I got one final batch of friend suggestions for maps to explore in this video, and these 3 are 3 maps by Vatapega. Hey, is that Tails? Yep, that's Tails. That's totally Tails. How the hell do people think this looks like Tails? Our first map is... Okay, I love the name of this one. Personalized Peach's Castle. They say every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized. Welcome to my personalized Peach's Castle. I do not have the time nor the mental fortitude to explain what personalized Mario 64 is. It's not as deep of a rabbit hole as the back rooms, but it certainly feels like it. Spawning in, we're introduced to Nintendo music. Hold on. It's basically what it says on the tin. It's Peach's Castle from Mario 64, but with more cursed architecture and a few secrets to find. And I'm gonna be honest, playing this map without music kind of adds to the unnaturally surreal effect of it all. There are a lot of types of rooms that did not exist in the original, but feel like they could have. And they're, brought to life here. Stuff like this kitchen or this graveyard. I don't know why, but something about the aesthetic of N64 3D has always felt a little off to me. The first 3D platformer I ever played personally was Spyro, and to be frank, that game kinda nailed it on the first try, so going back to a very slightly earlier, more experimental, primitive time, I don't know, it just feels weird. It's kind of the same feeling I get playing Earthbound Beginnings or Smash 64 after being a huge fan of future releases in the series. It's almost like I'm playing a glorified tech demo for things to come, but they're full games. Does anyone else feel that way? It's kind of hard to explain. While within this map, I found a portal to another map titled the Warrior Apparition. Oh god, that's freaky. Back to the original map. I found Luigi. I also kept finding these mushrooms and fire flowers, as well as a star suspended over the starting area of the map. I tried to find a way up there, but after like 20 to 30 minutes, I just kinda gave up. I can't help but feel that I'm missing something with this map. It's just too expansive to be just a place to walk around in, you know? Maybe one day I'll explore more, but I want to move on. The next map I was recommended is called VRWare. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. Oh god, that's loud! You guys like WarioWare? This map was described to me as WarioWare in VR, basically being a collection of rapid-fire minigames that have you doing all sorts of things. Do some light platforming, grapple to this platform, avoid the red falling tiles, play billiards, but Maractus is too short for this one. Again, I cannot. Don't get lasered, shake the bottle, eat some chips. Now see, I have training for this one. Shoot at this cube, play Simon, avoid other players, do a rocket jump, take a picture of each other, insert your credit card information. It's fun, like a lot of fun. It's pretty challenging too. Like some of these minigames are legit kind of hard, but in ways where like you want to keep trying them because eventually you'll figure it out. Probably. I kind of like the learning curve of all of these games too. You got ones that'll feel impossible the first or even second time you do them, but then it'll also occasionally throw one in that'll make you go, oh, I can do that, 1 second. It's easy for beginners to get the hang of, yet provides a high skill ceiling for players who really want to master VRWare. I really like this map. Definitely try this one out if you ever get the chance. The final world Vada sent me, and this one just kind of blew me away. Mmd Dance World. I'm not 100% sure what MMD stands for, but apparently it's a genre of VRChat maps that hijack your model and make them do dances. That just sounds really funny. Let's go check this out. When you spawn into this room, you see a few things. A stage, a board of options, and then a board of songs to go along with it. Wow, that's quite a selection. Let's go ahead and pick Gimme Gimme by ABBA. Spoiler alert, that was not Gimme Gimme by ABBA. Now that that's selected, let's hit this button and... Oh my god. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of this world. You pick a song, you pick the part of the stage you would like to stand on, and then your player avatar actually does get hijacked to dance along to the music. I took a couple more looks through the board, and I'm just impressed if all of these have as much detail in them as this one I just saw. Some of these are pop songs, some of these are meme songs, a lot of them are anime songs I do not recognize, but my god, the novelty of this is insane. It's not perfect though, like you can really tell these animations were made with more humanoid models in mind, because while Marluxia and especially Howie Mandel, god look at him go, worked pretty well with these songs, Maractus and Louie tended to have some issues. Louie has like weird animal legs, so his feet were constantly clipping through the stage. His model is kind of big too, so he's often uncomfortably close to the camera, and at one point I swear his model just straight up broke. Meanwhile, Maractus' thick arms had a habit of obstructing the camera, and since he doesn't have legs, dance moves that use the legs he just skips over, which makes dances like Cotton Eye Joe look a little awkward. Marluxia can dance this song though, and wow, it looks out of character for him to do so. Also, what do you think the odds are that the real-life Howie Mandel knows what Caramella Dancin' is? Yeah, because that song is in here too. God, how much effort was put into this? Of the dances I've tried, they've all lasted the full length of the song. Each and every one of these probably took days on end to animate and actually sync up correctly. Like, it's really impressive how much detail was probably put into these. God, these maps were a ton of fun. Thank you so much, Vada, for recommending these ones. You know, this is a bit of a tangent, but when I was doing recording for this map, I came to the realization that, in a way, my 4 most commonly used avatars just happen to represent the 4 biggest demographics that play VRChat. Think about it for a second. Maractus is a Pokemon, but he's not like a super popular Pokemon. You kind of need to be really into the series to recognize him, so he represents the gamers. Marluxia is from a JRPG, so he represents the anime nerds. Louie represents the furries because... I don't know, man. I think any cartoon animal with stomach jiggle physics just has to. And Baby Mode Howie Mandel speaks to the meme lords. Like, come on, look at that face. That's gotta be at least a little funnier than... What are the meme lords like nowadays? Ugandan Knuckles? Or Big Chungus? Or, Peep the Frog? God, you guys are the weirdest group. I have perfect quadrility between all 4 of these groups, yet plausible deniability of being in any of them. Which... now that I think about it, is also kind of synonymous with my online presence as a whole. Like, I'm clearly a gamer, but I'm not extremely deep into the culture of any particular fandom, so maybe I'm not a true gamer TM. I draw mostly cartoon animals, but I don't have a fursona, nor do I consider myself a furry. I play mostly JRPGs, but I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a fan of anime. It honestly feels more like the games I like just happen to be in an anime art style a lot of the time, and well... I mean, have you seen the stuff I post on Discord? Am I a living Venn diagram of online cultures? Have I achieved internet ikigai? I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. Oh, you know what else I am? I'm a mainer. Let's look that up, I'm just curious. Oh, just one thing. And it appears to be an avatar world, so that might not be good for the video. What about lighthouses? That's also pretty synonymous with Maine. If that doesn't work, maybe I'll search moose next, or lobster, or... maybe Portland, although that might result in us going to that cursed alternate Dark World version of Portland across the country. Oh, never mind, there's a few lighthouses here. Let's check this one out. Oh, this is kind of beautiful. If you wanted a relaxing walk along the beach in VR, this is certainly the map for it. It's just a calming experience. I don't know how they did it, but the water looks incredible in this world. You can go under and see some plants, but it's not really possible to swim, nor is there really, like, much sea life down here. I get the feeling that whoever made this probably lives near the ocean themselves, because it manages to get a lot of small details right that I wouldn't expect if you didn't grow up in this kind of environment. The seagulls flying around in the distance, the wooden stake sticking out of the ground, the outside area of the lighthouse, there's a big boat that you can warp to, and while it's not super detailed, it feels oddly realistic, like in terms of shape, you know, like the silhouette of it. I love the music too, it felt dreamlike, it's hard to explain. But yeah, this was a wonderful place to explore. I don't know why, I felt like searching mall, and I happened to like the thumbnail of VR Plaza Mall by Flame G102. Oh, I like the look of this one. So it's not like a full mall, instead more of a hallway of one, but that doesn't stop it from being pretty densely and impressively packed in places to explore and things to interact with. Is that food? I wouldn't know. The first store I went into was actually an arcade. This is one of those old school arcades where most of the games available are things that got subpar NES ports later. I found a Virtual Boy that, oh no, that man looks distressed. Also, I didn't catch this as I was recording, but later in the footage I saw a Polybius cabinet quarantined to the corner of the room. That's a good touch. You know, I have a little bit of a confession regarding arcades. While I do acknowledge the cultural importance of them, and while I did somewhat grow up in the era where they were still something you'd expect to see one of in every city or something, I tend to find arcades kind of boring and even sort of a breeding ground for bad game design practices. Like, you know how every now and then we see discussions about if game length should be or even can be reflected in a game's price? Old school arcades take this to the worst logical extreme by essentially itemizing how many lives you get. You see, I like the ability to die stress-free when I'm playing a game. The mentality of seeing my deaths as learning experiences instead of a looming reminder of how many more attempts I have before I need to start over or insert more money. It's why I love games like Cuphead or Celeste or Kingdom Hearts Level 1 challenges, but dislike games like Rayman. Or at least I used to hate Rayman until I started experimenting with its infinite lives cheat, and now it's honestly to God one of my favorite platformers on the system. Seriously, if you hated this game as a kid because you could never get that far, pick it up again and try playing it with infinite lives. It's a completely different experience. It's still hard, but it instantly becomes the more fun kind of hard, you know? You don't get that with arcades, though. You lose an arbitrary number of lives and you just gotta start all over. Heck, it's even worse with them because not only are they wasting your time, they're also wasting your money as well. Mobile games do that sort of thing today, and I can't help but compare the two practices, like they're equally scummy to me. I don't entirely hate arcade games, but I guess I'd say I'm more picky about them because of this mentality. I tend to love the ones that deliver a type of experience you can't recreate at home, either because they have a tactical element or the ability to get real-life prizes, or use a controller that's not easily accessible to the average gamer, like light gun games, for example, or rhythm games. Rhythm games are a great example of this, and these even have the bonus of you being able to look cool in public. I want to show you guys my favorite song in DDR. It's called Pluto, and it's notorious for that. It halts the chart in time with the music stopping, and while it looks insane at first, slowly figuring out how to beat it and even get a pretty good rank in it is so much fun. I love weird DDR music that tries to fuck with the player so much because it feels incredible when you manage to beat it at its own game. I can do rank 10 difficulty in DDR. I think I may have even done 11 once at one point too. Like, I am genuinely proud of that. I remember playing Konamix for the PlayStation 1 as a kid, and the hardest song I ever completed, not get a good score on, but just completed, was a rank 7 called La Senorita Virtual. You know, the song with the creepy lyrics about stalking a girl in a coffee shop. I mean, the difficulty does go up to 19, that is like the highest one, and at that point you have stuff like Over the Period with its fluctuating BPM, or Valkyrie Dimension with, oh my god, that's over 700 BPM. So I'm not quite there yet, but I'm certainly getting there. Like, I like DDR, can you tell? Okay, I think that's enough ranting about arcades. Let's go back to the mall. Funnily enough, none of the shops are actually as detailed as the arcade, but there's some amusing stuff here to check out nonetheless. I encountered this room with a bunch of avatars in it. Here we have Duck Neutron, Snake if he were in an action game, something you'd buy for $120 at a convention, Lava Skin McGee, Good Box Art Mega Man, and Miss My Eyes Are Up Here, please. Hey, you guys want to see one of the funniest custom animations I've seen in a while? Duke Notoriety left my body to do the Thriller dance. We got a bookstore, we got a cafe.
Duke Major taking all that money from toxic polluters, then blocking enforcement of our toxic
Please,
cleanup
I don't
laws.
want to hear about politics. I just want to play Genesis. Yeah, this map is fun. I don't know why, but after that, I wanted to look up library. Although I couldn't really find anything super interesting. I found this one map that takes place in a library in space, but after I managed to no-clip out of it and get PTSD flashbacks at the ending of Y2K, I couldn't really find much in it. The next library I visited, was a little interesting because it didn't have books, it had ads. Brochures for other worlds, and while I find that shameless, one of them did look kinda cool. Hence, let's visit Isle of Flora by Tiwa. Straight up, this is a beautiful map. It's just a giant tropical island advertised by its abundance of flowers, but that's not all that's here. This map has architecture. It looks almost as if some ancient temples or shrines were built here at some point, but have since eroded away, completely overtaken by the flowers. It feels like a map with lore, like the Megastructure Playground one. Oh yeah, that map had lore. Did I mention that when I originally talked about it? At one point I found a zip line that led me down to this area of a bunch of shacks, and suddenly this map started to feel a whole lot like another one of those hangout spots. I absolutely love the aesthetic of this. It's got this really calming mix of natural and man-made set pieces. They got fishing rods, though I don't know if there's much you can do with them. The shacks have kitchen areas, places to sit, and drinks. Yeah, this was a nice time. Okay, so when I was asking for maps from friends, I got a very unusual request. I wouldn't necessarily call this one a map suggestion, but a Discord buddy replied to my call for suggestions with, I don't know, play Uno. Okay. Searching that, the map I decided to try out was a Better Uno by Unkoyo. So we start in this lobby area. This map is like an actual multiplayer game, so you need to wait your turn to actually enter. Now, while again I do have voices off for people, we do get to say hi to folks regardless. There's this anime kid in green flipping stuff, Def the kid of a demon tail, some guy with baggy pants, a golem, a guy with a boar head. I feel like I should know who that is. Some short girl with a cattail, a guy made of geometry. It's a diverse cast of characters for sure. I actually played 2 games of this, but I think I got kicked from the first one because I had no clue what I was doing and I kept walking into other people's play areas. Maybe I got kicked for cheating as a result of that. Maybe I got timed out since I couldn't figure out how to actually play a card. I don't know, but it was kind of embarrassing, so let's just skip over that. When the second game started, it all clicked though. Basically what I was missing was that in order to actually play a card, you have to physically throw it into the center of the field, below the big card, which is always the card currently in play. Now, I'm actually like kinda good at Uno in real life, so once I figured that out, it all just clicked for me and my head was completely in the game. My personal strategy for Uno is to pay close attention to the people on your sides, particularly the 2 people 1 away and 2 away from you, depending on which direction the turn order is currently going. What I do from there is basically make a hard time for whichever of those 2 players has the least cards, since the goal of the game is to use up your entire hand. For example, if the person 1 away from me has 3 cards and the person 2 away from me has 5 cards, I might use a skip to move on to the person's turn. If it were the opposite way, I would just play a normal card and hope the next person is playing a similar strategy. I'm gonna be honest though, I felt kinda bad for my proverbial victim this round using this strategy, the guy right next to me. It was the green anime kid from before. They're clearly playing with an actual VR set, so you could see their arm gestures they were making in real time, and you could tell they got a little salty after some of my plays. They were a good sport about it, though. Like, at one point I went over to check if he was okay, and he gave me a thumbs up, which, like, I actually burst out laughing when I saw that, and that was so unexpected. But then the next time I did it, they gave me a dismissive hand wave, so I think I was getting on their nerves. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but I take no prisoners when I play Uno. As we were getting close to the end of the game, I knew he wasn't playing around anymore as he took out a magic staff. Also, the fact that he was floating the whole time gave him this real threatening aura, too. This guy's cool. I might end up adding him to the thumbnail. By the way, is this a pre-existing character, or is this an original creation? What do you think their reaction would be if they ever stumbled across this video? You know, I actually ended up winning this game, too, and yeah, I had a really fun time. I kind of like Uno. I want to look up Stick Ranger, another game I kind of love talking about on the internet. Huh, not a single map related to Stick Ranger or any damn ball game for that matter. I looked through the options I got, though, and Midnight Haven Meetup Club looks kind of interesting. So this is a big room with cool stuff basically around the entire perimeter. This wall is full of pixel art, this one's got photographs, this here, oh my god, it electrocutes you. The first thing that really caught my attention is the drink bar, because, guys, we found actual water physics. It's like, look at that. Like, that's kind of cool. It's a little glitchy in all honesty, but I'm kind of impressed how fluid it looks, no pun intended. And look, here I am pouring wine into my face. There's a bed here. I found a dinosaur of a hat, a very jiggly sealed. I don't know why this is so satisfying. There's a trash can here. Guys, I'm trash cactus gaming. Variety is certainly the word I would use to describe this map. It really feels like a person who made this just shoved every conceivable thing they enjoy into a single room, and while it does feel a bit messy as a result of this, it also feels kind of cozy too. It's a really friendly map. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I want to look up sheep next, my favorite animal. A surprising amount of stuff came up for this one, and the one I decided to check out was called Cross Sheep Market 2. Its icon just speaks to me, I don't know. Oh, why am I so bright? So pretty much everything in this map is in Japanese, so I can't read any of it, but the gist I get is that you hit one of these buttons, the sheep goes for a spin, and then it spawns a bunch of interactable set pieces. Most of them are adverts for avatars I'm going to assume you can buy somewhere, because a lot of them are labeled as trials or samples, and some of them are really labeled as samples, if you know what I mean. God, that samurai just looks like a living product placement. Some of these are actually like pretty interesting. This duck is kind of cute. This one kind of looks like those bird kids from One Shot, and there's a furry version of it too. This cat in particular, though, confounds me. Its animations look limited at first until you open up its expressions menu and notice an entire slew of custom options, all in Japanese. I don't understand what half of these do even. Like, you can put a banner over your head, you can put a VR headset on. God, look at these menus within menus. It's so confusing. There's also this one that's just a guy. I'm gonna assume this character is from something I just don't recognize. This map is neat to look around at, even if I don't understand any of it. Okay, so at this point we only have 3 more maps to go, and while I was looking around for stuff to cover, Hoodie Deer out of nowhere DM'd me again with an additional map they found. It was a very ominous world link, mostly because it wouldn't embed for some reason. Apparently its name is on April 4th, 1999. I'm curious, let's go ahead and look up what that is real quick, and... what the hell? Right, those were his first lines in the game. Wait, seriously though, what the hell? I looked for a Y2K map earlier. Apparently they didn't find it either, someone showed it to them, and... I know someone who needs to see this. Great, good to know I'm just the yik guy in every friend group I'm in now. Might as well check it out, right?
On April 4th, 1999, I arrived home from school. I just graduated. It took a few semesters longer than I originally planned, but I was proud to be done. I had no idea what adult life held for me, but I was optimistic.
Unfortunately, there's not much to this map, though. All that really happens once you spawn in is Alex appears, and then says the first dialogue he says in the game. And then he just kind of stares at you forever as his theme plays. Honestly, not much to it at the end of the day, but just finding a Y2K world just is kind of worth it to me. I don't know, like, you got that novelty there. This is not a game you see, like, rep for every so often, or that often. You know, despite it being nearly 3 years since I've made my pretty infamous video essay on that game, I still occasionally get questions asking if I'd ever return to it in some sort of way. Like, maybe I would do a more traditional Let's Play of it, or do a review of the other game they made. You know, if they ever relist it. Truthfully, I've been thinking about it. Since that game's first wave in the spotlight, as a lot of people reviewed it and criticized it both in good and bad faith, they've been working on this massive update that apparently completely overhauls the game. We're talking everything from rebalancing the battle system to new story beats, new areas, new music, retreads of story beats that rub people the wrong way, a reworked mine dungeon system, even all new characters. It looks extremely ambitious, and once they're done with it, I would love to do a part 4 to that video essay that goes over the changes, as well as correct some mistakes I made in my research for the original video. That'll be an eventually kind of project for sure, but it's one I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to finally work on. For the last 2 maps, I decided to let the whims of the world selector be my guide, and just scroll through popular maps until something caught my interest. You know, we kind of started this video on a lounge, and I kind of want to see another one after all this time. Let's check out the Great Pug by Owlboy. It appears to be some sort of restaurant. So yeah, this one basically is a restaurant, so there's inevitably a lot of people here. I don't have the time to go over them all. There's like 30 people here, I think. But the ones that immediately caught my attention was this duck waiting on people, this troll-faced man, and a heavy hopping around. Also, this cat plays music when you stand next to her. That's a funny effect. I walked around for a bit. There's actually multiple floors to this area, and while the first one is just a restaurant, the second one has this small stage that you can mess around with. It's like a karaoke stage almost. While up here, I also witnessed the most insane anime battle I've ever seen in my life. I have no words. After wandering around a bit more, I began stumbling upon these ominous, backroom work areas and in a dumpster. Who would want to hang out here? I found this in the janitorial closet. God, that janitor is eating good tonight. We stay in a restaurant that'll give its employees a free meal. You know, when it's an actual good meal. I played around at the bar for a bit, and then I got bored enough that I began throwing bombs at guests. Oh yeah, I figured out how to do that, by the way. This is a good map. I guess it's just the kind of thing you need voices on or need to hang out with friends in order to get the most out of. And for the final map, well, I kind of just looked through popular ones again, and this one labeled Shader Fest 2021 looked pretty interesting. Not Shader Fest, Shader Fest. I don't know why it's called that. Also, it probably has the longest load time of any map I've seen today, so we know we're in for a big one here. I don't know why, but the area you spawn in is weirdly ominous. I really don't know what to expect here. It feels almost like I'm about to enter an auditorium. As you get farther through, that ominous feeling starts to go away, though, as you enter this great hall with an orbiting fixture in the center and really cool music. So, this map has a lot to take in, but to describe it very simply, you have this central room with 4 hallways leading out of it. And at the end of them is a bunch of rooms that are glorified museums for shaders. I'm guessing shaders in this context basically means any cool effect that you could render in VRChat and could probably take the idea for and duplicate in your own worlds if you're into making that kind of content yourself. It took me nearly a half hour to explore everything here. It's really not a surprise how long this took to load because the amount of unique, visually interesting stuff on display here is just immense. There's even quite a few that are interactable you can take with you to play around with before moving on. The description for the map says there's over 200 shaders in all, and it's hard to pick a few personal favorites as a result. Their utility and use cases range wildly too. You have lighting effects, water effects, screen effects, optical illusions, image effects, interesting weapons, character effects, fire effects, floor effects, audio effects, AI image recognition effects, although this one couldn't decide on whether Maractus was a traffic light or an umbrella. The grand finale of this map takes you to this rooftop where you can push these buttons to turn your entire surroundings into a variety of sceneries, and God, it's just so cool. This is a really neat map to end the video on for sure. And yeah, there's 30 maps for the video. VRChat is kind of a wild game. I don't think I'll ever understand the culture of it, to be honest, attend events in it, or meet new people through it, or join communities within it, but this strange dabbler niche kind of way I've developed of playing this game has managed to give me a lot of fun regardless. I can't imagine a lot of my audience is super into VRChat, so for all of you, I hope you enjoyed this and that maybe this video got you a little interested in trying it yourself. And if you are a seasoned VRChat veteran who happened to stumble across this video, I hope you enjoyed it as well. I know there's quite a lot of VRChat-centric YouTubers out there, but from what I can tell, the majority of them don't make videos quite like this. This is a very personal kind of video for me, like a very personal project. And who knows, maybe this gave you some new ideas on how to experience this game you already love. I'd like to give my special shoutouts to my Patreon supporters as usual, Great Wolf and Horror Gemstone. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you folks later. Thanks for watching.